Since I was a young child, I was interested in law enforcement or EMS and fire departments in general. I pretty much knew what I wanted to do once I hit high school and became a police officer for the New Bedford Police Department. And I also became a paramedic, which is an advanced EMT. And then the opportunity to come on to the state police presented itself. I've been here with the state police for about 11 years.
He's a special person. He's destined to do the job he does. I could never picture him doing anything else.
Chris came to us with a lot of police experience, and he did his time out in uniform. I've had experience with him over the years in numerous high-profile investigations. He's a very competent investigator. He brings a lot to the table for us.
He's funny, laid back. You wouldn't think he'd be, so he's very laid back, especially we have 3 daughters. Wishes he could be around a lot more, but he's also trying to protect everybody else too. So we have to make the sacrifice, which we do.
April 18th, 2013 started like a somewhat normal shift for me. There had been the Boston Marathon bombings a few days before. Toward the end of my shift that night, I responded to Cambridge, Massachusetts, where a friend, an academy classmate, had been shot and killed by the Tsarnaev brothers. Just a couple hours later, there was a call for assistance from the Watertown Police Department. My partner and I raced over to the scene and engaged the suspects in the corner of Dexter Ave and Laurel Street in that town. Toward the end of the confrontation with the Tsarnaev brothers, I received a gunshot wound to my right femoral artery. It severed the artery and nicked the vein. I pulled myself back up, my partner tackled me and got me to safety. I suffered extreme blood loss on site.
It was chaotic. There were improvised explosive devices still on the ground that other troopers and officers were saying was still live. I took one look at Richard Donahue. From my training as a paramedic, I knew how serious his injuries were. His heart had already stopped. The environment we were in was not safe, so that posed a problem. But also, he was at the point where he'd lost so much blood that anything that we could do for him there was limited. And I was able to recognize that. That's a credit to the training and my experiences.
Trooper Dumont's extra training as a paramedic gave him the tools and the experience, the expertise to know that this officer, this person needs to get up and get out, otherwise he's gonna die.
Fortunately for us, the ambulance was able to get there rather quickly. We delivered Officer Donahue in approximately 10 minutes or less after he was wounded, which is a great delivery time to a hospital in an emergency like that. I was still very concerned that we had lost too much time.
He came home, walked in the door, and we just gave the look to each other. It was complete silence. It was a lot of emotion.
On that Sunday, someone sent me a message and said, hey, Dick Donahue's not only awake, conscious, he's talking and cracking jokes with his wife. And he seems to be fine.
Chris could not believe the outcome. Everything happened just the way it was supposed to happen.
Officer Donahue needed so many blood products that they went through the entire blood supply at Mount Auburn Hospital and had called other hospitals in Boston, and also the blood bank from the Red Cross. It was a team effort. It was what I want to call a chain of survival. If one person had done anything different that day, I think he may not have survived.
Well, it gets a little old buying Chris beers, every time we go out. I think he's earned a few, but we're getting toward the end of that. I don't know how many times you can say thank you, but we've formed an incredible friendship over the last 4 years now. We've collaborated with the American Red Cross. We've provided some police training. We've received awards together. So it's been sort of an amazing ride from something that was almost very, very tragic.
Both Dick and I have joined together to tell his story to organizations, to police academies, to administrators on how important the blood donation and tourniquets are. Also how important it is just to be prepared that these things can happen in any community.
One of the other things that we're very proud about is the awards that Chris has received, the Mass State Police Medal of Honor, the National Top Cops Award, and Trooper of the Year from the National Association of State Troopers.
I'm very proud of him every day. I try to tell him. I definitely try to tell him. He's pretty awesome.
My whole career in law enforcement, 16, 17 years now, my time as an EMT and a paramedic. I approach every person the same. I approach every incident with caution and the idea that, I may have to use any of the skills that I have, expecting that I'll be able to make a difference.